Thank you. Madam Speaker and members, if I can get your attention for a moment. I rise today in memory of a young man who probably has no long resume, no great accomplishments in life, because his life was short. I rise today in memory of a young man born on May the 20th, 1996, to Leslie McSpadden and Michael Brown Sr. His name is Michael Brown Jr. And prior to August 9th, none of us really knew his name. He graduated from Normandy High School in St. Louis, and he was not actually slated to graduate. He graduated in an alternative school. But he decided he wanted to graduate when his counselor told him that if he finished certain courses, satisfied certain requirements, he would get his high school diploma. And so on August the 1st, he graduated from an alternative school and got his high school diploma from Normandy High School in St. Louis. He was slated to attend Valdemont College, a technical school, on August the 11th, 2 days after his death. And he wanted to become a heating and cooling engineer and wanted to own his own business. He was 6'4", 292 pounds, and called by his teacher a gentle giant. This young man was shot down in the streets of Ferguson, Missouri on August the 9th, 2 days before he was scheduled to begin college. I rise today in his memory to remind us of the precariousness of the life of African American males in this country. This morning we held a press conference to remind us about the concept of being young, black, and unarmed in America. And during that press conference, we gave a list of all of the other young men who have died in the last month. In 2012, almost 2 African American males were killed every week in this country who were unarmed. The death of African American males is a tragedy in this country, and one in which we have to begin to aggressively look at all of the things that we do. So today was the funeral of Michael Brown Jr., a young man who was a gentle giant, who stands as a symbol of our continuing challenge to deal with the issues of violence against unarmed African American males in this country. We have a responsibility as legislators to address the issue, to remain constantly vigilant. Those of us who are African American mothers and fathers recognize that Michael Brown stands as a continuing symbol of the work that we have to do above being a parent, to teach our young men how to be safe in this country. And oftentimes it is a denial, excuse me, thank you. As an African American mother, and oftentimes, as we were pointed out today, as an African American father by Mr. Holden, that we continue to have to teach our children, oftentimes, to deny their strength, to deny their independence, to deny their personalities in order to survive in this country. Some 40 years ago, I read a poem by Owen Dotson called A Black Mother Praying. And at the time, I thought I was reading something about young men in the 60s because of the death and the killing of young men in this country. I discovered the poem was written in 1943. And it was about a black mother who was saying, how can I continue to pray in this country when my sons are being slaughtered in the streets of America? And in this poem it says, freedom is written big and crossed out in America when it comes to African American males. And how can I continue to pray to my God in the midst of this violence? I read that poem in 1968 at a program I was in, only to discover it was written in 1943. I picked it up again here in 2014, and it still is an issue that's raised across this country. How can we continue to have hope and opportunity for our children in a country that somehow or another disrespects who they are simply because of the color of their skin? We have to continue to look at Michael Brown. We mourn his death today. We mourn with his mother, who was also sitting at the funeral with Trayvon Martin and other mothers who had lost their son, who were young, black, and unarmed. And we once again ask that we have a moment of silence for Michael Brown and for all of the others, for Oscar Grant, for Eric Gardner, who was killed on July 17th, for Ezell Ford, who was killed in Los Angeles on August 11th of this month, and for Dante Parker, who was killed in Victorville on August the 12th. All of those last three killed in California in the last few weeks, who were unarmed, young African Americans, as well as hundreds of others. We ask for a moment of silence in his memory.
Members, let's take a moment of silence. Members, please rise, and we'll take a moment of silence.
Thank you.
Members, please bring the names to the desk to be printed in the journal. All requests to adjourn in memory will be deemed read and printed in the journal. Members, I need your attention once more. Here is the committee schedule for today and tomorrow. The following committees will meet upon adjournment of session today. Higher Education will meet in room 437. Natural Resources will meet in room 447. Transportation will meet in room 4202.